Greetings, my friend. I hope life is treating you well today. I don't think I really have a particular agenda today. I think I'll just share my heart with you. I was actually just hit with a huge disappointment in life. Something that I've waited a long time for. Just fell apart right before my eyes because of the choices of other people, as usual. And this really made me say a lot of what ifs and if onlys. If only, blah blah. What if, blah blah. This thing that I was let down about, a lot of things hinged on it happening. And I waited a long time for it and worked really hard for it. And it was basically just given away to someone else. And I was expected to enthusiastically go along with it. And I said no. I was very angry. Even though I'm not really in a position to be demanding, I allowed myself to fully feel the fire of that anger. So angry. Not just about this situation, but about all similar situations. Especially those situations in my own life. And I came to another breaking point where I just I care slightly less than I did before what the outcome is. And to frame that spiritually, I say, I've once again had to let go of attachments to certain outcomes and to expectations to manifest visions and make dreams come true. Let go of attachments and expectations. What's left? Pure presence, being fully present with myself, with yourself, in the ever-present now. No matter what happens, I must remain grounded in my ideal self. And being angry is just fine. You're allowed to be angry over things you don't like. I think it's a normal reaction, to things not working out the way that you really needed them to. And the what if and the if only for me comes in because my whole entire life can hinge on the arbitrary choice of someone else. For example, in 2004, my landlady was put into a nursing home and her son took over her affairs. And even though he's a psychologist, he's a complete sociopath with no empathy or true human emotions. And he decided to double the rent and not renew my lease so that he could rent it out to somebody that he knew. And so I needed help to avoid becoming homeless. And the person I'm with now sent me a check for like $2,000 to help me. And then had told me that I had to tear up the check because someone else along the line of his business didn't pay him. And all these years later, he still didn't get paid back by that other guy, and he sued him in court and he won, but he'll never get a settlement. But him having to tell me to tear up that check, receiving the check saved my life. Tearing it up led me to utter destruction on all levels. It was a long, slow train wreck. My hair's finally growing out from where I had to cut my dreads off. So, the choices of other people can either save your life or break your life. And I do have dreams that never got manifested because of my own choices and because of other people's choices. But for example, a lot of why I didn't finish college at ASU was because, number one, I was reeling with chronic undiagnosed PTSD, as well as grief, social anxiety, and a few other things, like anorexia and insomnia. I was just a basket case, and I was pretty much a straight A, brilliant student until something happened in my life and I dropped out. I became pregnant with my second son, and his father left me for another woman like he left another woman for me. So it was just so much. It was so staggering that I had to drop out. I hung on until I took my baby to class with me a few times, and then I just had to let go. And that was all from a bunch of accumulated trauma that had never been healed. The choices that I made. If I could have had help or made it through, then I'd have a college degree at least going for me. I'm educated, but I don't have a degree. And I'd like to fix that. So I'm continuing to think about how to edit my life, and part of that is looking at your if-onlys and your what-ifs and not being pulled into them like a bad dream or a bad trip, and staying fully present with yourself in this ever-present now. Not losing your center and your groundedness and bobbing under the water again and falling asleep again and zoning out on life again, just coping in a funk. But strive for clarity if you're not already there. I'm not there yet, that's for sure.